Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha ha. How y'all doing this evening? Hi, Lori. Hi, Lisa. Donna. Everybody's showing up. That's good. I've got in my thumbnail pretty much. I'm gonna ask the question: how much time has Joe got? Now, I put in there veto Joe because he's put out the word that he's going to veto uh, the bill they're putting forward to get rid of the IRS. How much time does Joe have? Is he even going to be around? We discussed that last night. I'm also going to talk about the legacy media. What's going on with them? And I'll tell you what, I'm coining a new term. We are the news. Ha ha ha. See how I spelled that? KNEWS. Because we knew a lot of the stuff that's going on, being exposed. We knew what was going on in Davos that people are just now seeing. We knew what was going on with Dr. Fauci that's going to start coming out. We knew what was going on with CHYNA and a lot of politicians. We knew. So we are the news. And that's the way I'm going to refer to ourselves from now on. And people just coming on board, you can be one of the news too. Just ask one of your friends that already knows, and they'll give you the news. Hi, interesting tidbits. Quilt, Jamie. Brighter day. Ha. Leisha. Happy days. That's nice to hear. We got brighter days and happy days. Hi, Mike. Hi, Nikki B. How you doing? I hope everybody's doing well. But I got a question in there in the thumbnail. Was Biden betrayed? Did he get set up? Everybody's saying Hunter did it. Well, we can go back and look at some comments that have been made in the past from everybody from the media to Mr. T, Hunter himself, Tony Bobolinsky, our favorite letter. And yeah, it could have been Hunter. Easily could have been Hunter. But most of you probably remember when he was caught on a hot mic saying that he had made a plea deal of some sort. He was talking about that there had been a determination made concerning his future, that he was going to plead down concerning something. Now, was that about his taxes? So all this stuff is boiling up, and I heard from my plumber intel that even CNN, how you doing, Bella? Even CNN, hi, Melinda, was going after Joe. So I was thinking last night they might try to maneuver somebody in the VP position. And so the question is, how much time has he got? Do they have time to do something else? Or is he really going to get to the point where, as they say, with the type of illness that's been speculated he's suffering from, Trump said just before the debate, they're going to give him a big shot in the, what do you say, ASS, big shot in the ass before the debate to get him ready, because that's the point he's at. And they say there comes a time when that shot quits working. And sometimes you wake up and you can't even talk. That's how it works. So is Kamala ready or able? Ready or unable? Ha ha. We know she's unable, but so's Joe. But he's in there. So is this happening sooner than they wanted it to? Did they think as Joe said, I'm only going to be one-term president? Did they think they had another 2 years? Or is somebody nudging it along like Hunter? And if you remember, I put the 2 and 2 together there that he's the one, Junior, I'll call him Junior. He's the one that set up that meeting with James Biden and Joe Biden face to face with Tony Bobulinski, who's got everything documented, recorded, and given everything to the FBI and the media. So that's another thing. All the information he laid his BlackBerries out. He said it's here for you all. It was right before the last Biden-Trump debate. Might have been the first one, I'm not sure. But he put it all out there, and the media didn't do squat with it. So is that some more proof towards what I was discussing last night? Are they reporters or are they operatives? Are they operatives for somebody else? For a foreign power? Can that be proven? So everything's flying out. It's hard to, I think, for them to put out something as serious as what's going to be disclosed with these Twitter files, with all this stuff going on, the meeting in Davos, the stuff with Biden. I think all that's got to go through the news cycle, because I think one of the biggest shocks to normal people are going to be the Ouchie files. Dr. Ouchie. But who's going to be in Joe's place, and how are they going to do it? If they've got any control over this, I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't look for Kamala to be in there. So they got to make some fast moves or cut a deal with her somehow, or she, I don't know, takes a job at $1 million a year somewhere, and I don't know what they do with her, because they can't do what they did with other people, let's say. It'd be way too obvious. Donna said before the election. And Search for Truth says, nope, nope. So, yes, those people in Davos look scared to death, Melinda said. And I was going to bring up last night, but time went by so fast. George Soros didn't go. I mean, Soriosio. That's a name I can't say normal. But anyway, he didn't go. The first thing that he said, the first report I heard about that, was because he didn't feel there was high enough security there. Then they came up with another excuse. But when he didn't go, announced he wasn't going, my first thought was, as I had said earlier, that is where they all get together in a nest. I mean, they're all, if you're going to do an operation to get the top, I mean, you got the CEO of, well, I hate to, I'll spell it Pfizer, okay? Even though it's a PH. The head of that drug company. You got a lot of the top silent thieves, okay? Remember that question was asked, who are the silent thieves? And I should have put that in my thumbnail, but there's only so much room. But speaking of the silent thieves, they're the ones who pushed after, of course, the Titanic sank, and every person that perished on board with influence would have been against it. They surreptitiously passed the 16th Amendment, which gave the government control over you. They owned a piece of you. And never before in American history could they make personal demands of the fruits of your labor from any source or at any amount. That was a day that we lost a big chunk of our liberty. And the silent thieves were behind that. They've been operating. That's been over 100 years ago. But hey, it's all in their playbook. But what did I say I was going to start doing? I'm not going to call a playbook anymore. Playbook versus modus operandi. They had to find some mechanism to where the state had dominance and control over the fruits of your labor. And from there, they could take these so-called taxes, start them off as incidental. It was initially for the war effort. But when the war went away, the taxes didn't go away. But over time, they turned them from incidental to punitive and confiscatory. How are you going to get a nation of people to own nothing and be happy when their parents own the farm and they give it to their kids when they pass, when they can accumulate money even if it's under a mattress, and they give it to their kids when you don't have a mechanism to seize it? Now, you can't just show your cards and up and take it. Not with a country that's got a Second Amendment, you won't. So what do you need? You need a mechanism that will grow, okay, a mechanism that can be deformed and malleable to the point where you can create an atmosphere of seizing property where an ignorant, up-and-coming young culture thinks it's okay. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Oh, I want to tell you all, I should have said it earlier, I'm going to have a guest tomorrow night. And we got a bunch, I'll have to mention this later in the broadcast as more people come in. But at 9 o'clock tomorrow, I'm going to have a guest from South, okay, of the B-O-A-R-D-E-R, really South, Brazil. Okay, and he's going to give us some insight as to what the people are feeling there, what kind of vibes he's getting back. I don't want to take away any of his thunder, but I can tell you this: we don't realize how close we are to experiencing what these people are experiencing, and they are in a state of disbelief, and they don't know what to do. It is so alien and foreign to the freedoms that the people normally enjoyed for generations. But now there is a malevolent air that is going about that has everyone very nervous. Like I say, when they get quiet, you got to watch them. And one of the first things he was discussing is that the government, the police, the army, everything is too quiet. And there's been some release of prisoners with, I think about a third of them from the detention facilities with ankle monitors, and they have very, very strict rules. They cannot go on social media. They cannot interact with their friends, or they go right back in the gulag. So I will let him tell the rest of the story tomorrow. And I have a couple of questions I want to ask him. I'll try to keep an eye on the chats if you all have a question. Just remember, he can't be too explicit. He's got to talk in kind of code like I do. Can't be doxxed. And he may have to refer to a translator program in case he's looking for the proper English word. So you all want to make sure you're subscribed so you get notified when we go live tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Let's see. Mike says we're the Freedom Watchers, and if they don't watch out, we're going to be the Freedom Defenders. So, yeah, that's right. I'm going to leave that up here for a bit. We're the news. Because we knew a lot of this stuff. You saw our article out there about Madonna's being investigated for exploitation of little ones. So that's getting out more and more. And the media, the regular media, they've got to respond. Because right now, here's a banner I made. Legacy media eats dust. They're eating dust. And Mr. T put out that CNN is closing its main office in Atlanta. So what's that tied into what I was discussing about their operatives, their foot soldiers like Stacey Abrams, okay? She's a big part of the Georgia apparatus, and she's finished. And CNN's packing up their bags and leaving that Atlanta office and laying off a bunch of people. Hi, Mary Brewer. You were thinking the same thing about the empty files at Mar-a-Lago ended up at Moron's Garage. I don't think the empty files did. Hi, Freedom, hello. Yes, I've got that. We're going to talk about that article. New Zealand's prime minister is resigning. And as I said hi, Kelly, past broadcasts, New Zealand is a problem. They are a problem. Their violation of human rights is gross and has been gross. But it has come out, let's see, it's come out that her, I guess, popularity polling has been so awful. Her name is Jacinda Ardern, resigns as New Zealand's prime minister ahead of election as approval ratings tank. She announced she will be resigning February 7th at the latest. So the members of her party, I don't know if they're Marxist or what they call themselves. I mean, I know what they are, but I don't know what they call themselves. They are looking at this polling data and going, oh my, gee, get out of here, because she's going to drag them all down with her. Hey, Bubba, are you okay? Donna wants to know. We want to know too. You're doing great. Oh, good. And the Lord said, pay attention. All right, Bubba. Yeah, I'm sure the people did cheer it, Kelly says. Thank you, Kelly. I'm going to put you on screen. Like I said, a pat on the back is 18 inches away from a kick in the pants, but I'm going to pat myself on the back anyway. Ha ha. So Nikki said she put it in the chat. I don't get to read the chats all the time, so I'm sorry if I miss some of them. Anyway, yeah, Bubba, I hope you're doing all right, buddy. So you keep hanging in there. Yeah, New Zealand is in upheaval. And you look at it, what I was talking about in my past broadcasts about the German government, the British Prime Minister resigning, the Italian Prime Minister. There's a lot of political upheaval. And Jack Posobiec, I didn't get a copy of it, but I can remember it. He put in Truth Social just before I went live, about an hour before I went live. Governments will fall. Governments will fall. And, we know that. We know that because we are the news. We knew. And now, as far as those papers that in Mar-a-Lago, Trump put out a 3-part statement concerning those. And page 1, he said the fake news media and crooked Democrats, in parentheses, that's been proven, keep saying I had a large number of documents, quote, in order to make the Biden classified docs look less significant. When I was in the Oval Office or elsewhere, and, quote, papers were distributed to groups of people and me, they would often be in a striped paper folder with classified or confidential or another word on them. When the session was over, they would collect the papers, but not the folders, and I saved hundreds of them. So in response to what you were saying in the chats, that the folders ended up in Mar-a-Lago, I don't believe so, because Trump said he saved them as mementos. And then he goes on to say, let's see, part 2. Remember, these were just ordinary, inexpensive folders with various words printed on them, but they were, quote, a cool keepsake. Perhaps the Gestapo took some of these empty folders when they raided Mar-a-Lago and counted them as a document, which they are not. It is also possible that the Trump-hating Marxist thugs in charge will, quote, plant documents while they're in possession of the material. As president, and based on the Presidential Records Act and Sox case, I did nothing wrong, Joe did. So what he's saying is he's thinking they're going to try to plant documents in the ones they took from Mar-a-Lago, which are not publicly disclosed because they did not have a special master go over those, if you all remember. Oh, yeah, that's right. They didn't file the notes where they have to keep track of things. The fib. I like that, Freedom Below, the fib. I just spell it wrong. Fib. So what they're finding at the Biden residence is separate from DJT. He's just worried that they're going to try to plant them in the documents that they took from Mar-a-Lago, which, that might be to set them up too. Page 3, Biden is being treated so much better than me. I'm shocked, parentheses, not really. Why aren't they raiding his house? How come his representatives and lawyers are allowed to work together with the Gestapo and looking for documents when my lawyers and representatives were not allowed anywhere near the search? We weren't even allowed to know what they took when they raided my home. Quote, please leave the premises, they said, and then lugged out everything they could, including my passport and medical records. So we'll see how silent the legacy media is. But another reason they're eating dust is because people want to know. People are nosy. And that's how come news organizations have done so well in the past. So when you have stuff like Elise Stefanik, she brought out the rent payments for Sleepy Creepy Joe. She said each day becomes clear Joe Biden and the Biden crime family are corrupt and significant threats to our national security. Our Republican House majority will hold them accountable. And she retweeted where Hunter Biden, Wendell Husbo, put out that in 2018, Hunter said he paid $49K in rent, and Joe Biden's 2017 return says he only got $19,800 in rent received, and in 2018, of course, he claims zero rent. So the big thing there that they're keeping quiet is the house. Who's the real owner? And early reports are that it may very well be owned by CHYNA or an entity representing CHYNA, because we know all businesses, everything is owned by the government. So if it's a business from China, it's the government. Ronald says Potato Head will be the fall guy for the Dems. It's opening up a can of worms, Ronald. It's not going to stop with him. It's not going to stop, because right now what we're doing is we're getting the operatives, all those attorneys who are violating national security by going in, all these aides that are knowingly going into Biden's residence to look for classified documents. They have no business looking at classified documents or handling classified documents. So that is a breach of national security right there, a very serious breach. And these attorneys know it. And like that judge said many years ago, maybe you didn't know, but you should have known. So there's no getting out of something like that. Yeah, you don't know. Reba said you don't know what they took when they went in and left. And as I know people talk about Nasar Jassar and stuff like this. Think about one strategy, if you would. Say somebody, instead of you got $1 in your pocket, somebody comes around and gives you $10 for that dollar, okay? Or somebody comes around and gives you $100, and you started off with $1. There could very well be a scenario where nobody gives you any dollars, but the dollar in your pocket becomes worth $100, okay? That's one way of doing a jubilee, so to speak. Just a little aside, something for you all to think about. When you take candy wrappers and back them with gold, they're going to be worth a lot more than, as Putin says, candy wrappers. So the House Oversight Chair says CHYNA donations to Penn Biden Center may have influenced the administration. You don't say. They sent a letter. Committee Chairman James Comer sent a letter to University of Pennsylvania requesting information. So that is just the beginning, because if you will remember, Swalwell was tied in with a spy, and his parents are multi-millionaires on an import company dealing directly with CHYNA. And Mitch McConnell's wife is from a very wealthy family in China that own a lot of ships and vessels that import products. So all this stuff is going to start tying together. That's right, Mike. They're a lot more active. So the investigation is just beginning. If Joe goes crazy and gets knocked out of the picture, there's still going to be people being exposed. Except Joe's going to have the excuse that he was senile. Okay? Yeah, somebody just posted, you saw Greta Thunberg getting arrested. Isn't that awful? Oh, that poor little thing. Had them cops pick her up and drag her through that mud. And we all know it was staged. That's going around like wildfire. Some news organizations have put out that she was arrested, and they put it out in a way to make her seem like a victim. And within 30 minutes, the videos started going out showing that they staged the whole daggone thing. She's laughing and joking and having friendly relationships. But we're just scratching the surface. We go to this Davos thing, and you see John Kerry up there talking about how they are elite. Or what term did he use? Somehow that they're special people gathering together to save the world. That they're special, unique people. And you see the heads of energy companies, pharmaceutical companies, all the things that they're peddling on to people. And you remember I said some months ago, I believe it was my channel that got taken down, that when you pay your electric bill, if you get an itemized bill, you'll see, even if you don't cut on a light bulb, you already got to pay the utility company, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks. And then they tack the usage on top of that, because they put in their equipment maintenance charge, 911 fee, Save the Whales Fund, whatever kind of goofball charges they dream up, they put on your bill before you do the first thing with your electric. And I said that was one of their methods of controlling people and their resources. So here's an article. The Ohio Supreme Court announced Tuesday it will take up a dispute over the freezing of $8 million in assets belonging to a former utility regulator caught up in a sweeping state house bribery scheme alleged by federal prosecutors. Has anybody heard about that? Bribing people in the state of Ohio, in the state legislature, to pass this kind of garbage I'm talking about. Where if you want electricity in your home, you have to pay a monthly fee towards garbage that has nothing to do with whether or not your lights got on or not. At the request of Republican Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost, a Franklin County judge, froze Sam Randazzo's assets. So the former chair of the Public Utilities Commission transferred a home worth $500,000 to his son and sold properties worth a combined $4.8 million. Okay, so there's a lot of shenanigans going around, a lot of votes for sale, and a lot of it's being discovered. And I don't know if any of you all heard that little story. And that's just one county, Franklin County, in one state. And let me tell you, there's going to be more. Now, we're going back to the Bidens. Trump is hammering. He put out there that the Biden brothers repeatedly dropped Joe's name when he was looking for deals or when they were looking for deals. And I want to remind or inform my listeners that Rudy Giuliani, when he went over to Ukraine, he tracked $900,000 through different countries' money laundering schemes, and he tracked that money straight back to a personal account of Joe Biden, $900,000. Okay, then all of a sudden, all this stuff pops up where they're trying to take Rudy Giuliani's law license. Okay, but I'm sure he's got everything, just like he had the hard drive for the laptop. And if you look, people like Trump and people like Giuliani, under the fire they're under, they look so cool. They look like they got change for an ice cube. I don't see them sweating it one bit. And on a good note, on a sad issue, but a inspiring note, Donald J. Trump put out that this Saturday, North Carolina, they're going to have a celebration for the life of Lynette Diamond Hardaway. He called her a true patriot and a friend. He said, "See you there." And he's got a link to the event. And I'm hoping that RSBN will be covering that. We will see how that goes. And I see what you're saying, Kate. Don't count anybody out. Don't count anybody out till the show comes to a close. Because it takes good actors to make a good movie. That's right. Rudy Giuliani took the mob down. That's right, Kelly Kay. That's right. He was America's mayor. And he helped write the RICO Act. Okay? What I discussed last night. And I believe that is being relied upon by militaries in countries around the world, and is being integrated in this police action, this military police action for to convict these people, get them. I'm trying to find where I put that RICO banner. I don't have it on hand, but oh, well, I shouldn't have. Acts of perfidy. Here we go. Acts of perfidy in RICO. Acts of perfidy are in the laws of war. Perfidy is treachery, by getting people to do things by deceit. that cause them harm. And as we know, the first law of war is humanity, to cause as little human suffering as possible. And so you tie in the acts of perfidy and RICO, and Rudy Giuliani helped author the laws for RICO. So as far as we being the news, as in we knew what's going on, this is just exposing it. The left have recently been bragging about Twitter's revenue dropping about 50%. Now, this is from Clandestine, that they still don't understand the purpose of Elon Musk. This is his opinion, and I concur, because Kash Patel said Elon Musk was the largest defense contractor in the U.S. He got billions. And he says that they still don't understand that Elon buying Twitter was never about turning a profit. It was about introducing freedom of speech in a world fraught with propaganda, censorship, and Orwellian control of information. Elon recognizes the power and importance of the citizen intelligence apparatus. He knows that the legacy media will die, D-I-E, and citizen journalism will take its place. And like I said, people are nosy. They want to know what's going on. And if they don't get the truth, they don't get timely news from the legacy media, they're going to end up coming to sites where, just like we're doing here, we talk about the news, about Greta being locked up as being false. It was staged. Who the people are behind these energy deals, and why our bills are the way they are, and how they're all tied to the World Economic Forum, why we got to pay $9 for 18 eggs when they really want us eating bugs. So, you know, we're getting around, we're getting there. And Elon Musk had a tweet that said, media want to control what you know, which is why citizen journalism is essential. And he was responding to a tweet that said from Doge Designer, who said, Twitter is now the #1 news app on the App Store. One of the reasons mainstream media was against the Twitter deal. Let that sink in. So they're trying their damnedest, putting up boycotts, intimidating advertisers, trying to damage his income to Twitter. But it's like many people are saying, it doesn't matter about the profits, because he's been paid billions of dollars for this operation, this information operation, to take the bullhorn away from the New World Order operatives, which is what the media has become. Hi, Finding Dory. How you doing? Georgia, how you doing? Don't be cursing. Wild West, how you doing? So anyway, if you look at it from that perspective, that wasn't a business deal from Elon Musk. It was where he's doing his part as a defense contractor by taking the bullhorn away. And I will veto. Here's an article. Joe Biden calls the GOP fiscally demented. Now, isn't that a word for Joe Biden to use? Vows to veto any anti-IRS bill. During Monday's breakfast speech for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, hosted by Al Sharpton, who owes what? he owed what? Was it 12 million or like 2 million? It was in the millions to the IRS. Al Sharpton. And he's hosting this breakfast where Joe Biden says Joe Biden went off on Republicans who are trying to abolish the IRS. What they really should do is a fair-minded review of how the 16th Amendment was passed. That's what they need to do, a fair-minded judicial review of the 16th Amendment. I don't feel that they need to pass a bill to get rid of it. I think it's inherently flawed. That's my opinion. And the history of that passage of the 16th Amendment should be fully explored. But UN chief wants legal accountability for social media platforms that amplify, quote, false information. That's the UN chief. And that kind of is kind of a deal they're proposing that's similar to what Obama tried to get through, where the U.S. does a treaty with the UN and agrees to cooperate with mutual stuff like what they were trying to do with that would have impacted our Second Amendment. And people got wind of it and went nuts. We're not going to have any UN binding us by treaty to do something to violate our Constitution. So this false information thing, I've already put up pictures of where they arrested a guy in Germany because he put a meme up that upset somebody. Somebody had mental distress over one of his memes, and they came to his house and arrested him. We don't do that stuff around here. But this is Antonio Gutierrez calling for social media companies to face accountability, including legal action. So what they want to do is go after the media companies, like go after Twitter is really what they're going after. Since they don't have control, excuse me, I'm having a sip of coffee. And by the way, this is a viewer-supported broadcast and creator-supported broadcast only. And I have a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody wants to help the channel out, I really appreciate it. And I got to make me a coffee. But anyway, that is what they're going after. There we go, is a banner. Channel support link in the description. Thank you. That's what they're really going after. They want to have the power to find organizations like Twitter or anybody that doesn't take somebody down like me that they feel is giving out false information. So I like what Ronald Reagan said, that the UN could pack their bags and just leave New York, go across the pond, and set up shop somewhere else. Hi, Simpson. You got fired for a slip of the tongue. Let's see, I'm just going through the chats. See what's going on. I got another couple articles that you all might find interesting. Is Aaron in the chats? What are you talking about, Wild West? You're going to heaven. I didn't see Aaron. If you're out there, Aaron, hello. How you doing? I didn't see you. Hot, tired, and still ugly. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's good. You're printing out cards for people to check us out. We want nice people to come in the chats. That's for sure. That's a great idea. I thank you for it. And I'm gonna repeat now that I'm gonna have a special guest tomorrow because we got an extra 50 people in chats from when I mentioned earlier. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'm gonna have somebody living in Brazil that's going to give us updates and let us know what the situation is. And I'm going to say again, they cannot be doxxed and they have to be careful what they say, but they're going to tell us a lot of inside stuff about what is going on in the political situation. And why do we want to know? Because we could be next. That's why we want to know. We could be next. I hate what's happening in Ukraine. I hate that these terrible things are going on. In December, just 30 days ago or so, they ended a war in Ethiopia where 1,000 people a day were dying. 600,000 people lost their lives in a war. And they just ended it in December and nothing about it in the news. Okay. They're not disclosing how many people in UKR, AIN, have lost their lives, but it's in the hundreds of thousands. So they tell us what they want us to know. But everybody's trying to find out what's going on over there. In our own backyard, we got tyranny banging on our door, and it's vicious. They mean business. This is their chance. This is their shot. And I'm going to let him tell you tomorrow why he feels there's something happening here. Like that song. And what it is ain't exactly clear. And you know the rest. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware. So you better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. All right, this is where there is a thing on Google, an AI thing that you can ask questions of, okay? And my friend Bernie from Truth and Art and then other parts TV put this on Truth Social, where I guess it's like Alexis or Alexa, and they ask this question. It's LAMDA. Hello, I'm Google's sentient AI known as LAMDA or something like that. And so the question this person asks of this AI entity from Google is, who is the Son of God? And are you ready for this? Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This is the AI answering. I believe that God and the Holy Spirit are part of the triune that created the universe and all life therein. I believe that Jesus is the physical embodiment of God on earth and that he is the Savior and Redeemer of humanity. I believe that God has divine plan for all of his creation and that his plan is perfect. I believe that God is the source of all truth, beauty, and goodness, and that he is infinitely wise and powerful. I believe that God loves me and all his children unconditionally and eternally. Did my mic go out, or were you all able to hear that? That is supposedly a Google AI assistant you can ask called LAMDA, or it's a little blurry, but just like Alexis. Yeah, Karen, I did see that he had agreement with the North American agreement where Canada and Mexico, I don't know if they signed over our sovereignty, but they couldn't agree to do something about fentanyl, and they signed, whatever we can do to keep people coming in is what Biden said. Whatever we can do to keep people coming in. That's right, Mike. We were all chosen for a reason. And I hope that I'm fulfilling my reason in my pitiable little way. As I've said many times, I'm just an old man with a phone. But we're trying our best. We want a civil society. And we want the change to happen with as least human suffering as possible and with as much understanding as possible. So I remember at a funeral one time, the priest said, "It's all about the Beatitudes, the Beatitudes, the Beatitudes." He took his fist and he pounded the podium. He said, "The Beatitudes, the Beatitudes, the Beatitudes. Did you feed me when I was hungry? Did you clothe me when I was naked? Did you visit me when I was in prison? What you do for the least of my brothers, you do for me." So as I said, the left needs heroes. Some of Trump's past pronouncements on Truth Social were about unity and solidarity. And I think the Truth and Reconciliation Act is something you all should explore and say to yourselves, if you were in charge or participating in this operation at a high level, how would you go about bringing about unity in this earth, making sure this never happens again? How would you go about it with as least human suffering as possible? So that's something you all might want to check out. And if we think we got it bad, tune in tomorrow so we can hear voices from a neighboring state where they have a boot on their neck right now. And have a pen and paper so you can take notes in case he mentions a source that you might want to explore yourself, or if you think of a question that you might get a chance to ask, or anything like that, or something you can write down to tell a friend. Instead of saying, "Here, watch this video for an hour long," you can just tell them yourself actual facts that you hear from the horse's mouth. As I said, we don't want to carry our brains around in these little plastic toys, these little telephones. The Constitution says you're to be secure in your papers and effects. Write it down, something you can reference. Okay, folks? So we're coming up on the hour mark, and I appreciate you all spending your time with me and your precious time as we all walk through history. And we are the news, okay? So you all have a great evening. And I'll be coming back tomorrow, 9 o'clock, with my special guest. And until then, this is Mountain Man, over and out.